If you've been on the internet for as long as I have, chances are you've read either a Twitter post, Reddit forum, shady news article, or all of the above and thought to yourself, that must be the ramblings of a crazy person. The Earth is flat. We faked the moon landing. There's aliens at Area 51. Believe it or not, a shocking amount of people will claim these statements to be true facts of life. These are what's commonly known as conspiracy theories. You've probably heard of them before. In an age where social media allows anyone to post anything online, conspiracy theories are now more popular than ever. And when I think of the quote, pioneers who have made conspiracy theories popular online, I think of one man at the forefront. Joe Rogan. And like conspiracy theories, you probably know him too, as the host of the world's largest podcast. Also, he did Fear Factor a while ago, but that's when he had hair. That was like a totally different era. His podcast is essentially him having a 3-hour conversation with whoever he finds interesting. The guests on his show can range from high-profile entertainers to actual academics to his comic buddies to more sinister characters that like to spread fakey bullshit ideas to gullible people. But before the podcast took off to what it is now, Joe had another show where he would peddle these conspiracy theories. A TV show titled Joe Rogan Questions Everything. Who greenlit this? Premiering on the Sci-Fi Network in July of 2013, Joe Rogan Questions Everything was a show about Joe and his comic buddy Duncan Trussell going to various parts of the United States interviewing these so-called conspiracy theorists. And my god, did it make for some high-quality TV. Despite decent ratings out the gate, the Sci-Fi Network decided to pull the show after only 6 episodes. There's not much information on why it was canned, but one Reddit forum from the time claims that Joe talked about it on a podcast and explained there that he canned the show himself because he was too tired of everyone he interviewed lying to him, which, if that's true, is the funniest thing I've heard of this year. So today I'm going to go over one episode of the show just to see how bad it actually is. How about the first one, titled Bigfoot Human Hybrid? Bigfoot human hybrid. That's the level. So strap in, buckle up, fasten your seatbelts, whatever you gotta do, because this one is a fun one. And if you want me to look at the rest of the show, let me know, because I've got a lot to say. But regardless, sit back and enjoy the ride, because it's a bumpy one. Roll it! The episode begins with what's essentially a 90-second teaser trailer of what's to come for the rest of the series, but it's just so nonsensical. I feel like I gotta talk about some of these clips they use because holy shit, is it top tier cringe.
I am gonna look at everything with a totally objective, open mind.
Is someone gonna tell him or do I have to?
What is going on?
I don't know, man. You tell me. You're the one hosting this show right now. I'm just here to watch it and make fun of it, but that's regardless of the fact.
This is what I've been looking forward to my whole life.
This is what Joe has been waiting for his entire life, okay? I don't think you get it. The Spotify deal for $100 million means nothing without the 6-episode conspiracy theory show on the Sci-Fi Network, okay? The same network that aired Sharktopus, Sharknado, Killer Croc versus Dino Shark, whatever. And without this, Joe is nothing. Don't you get it? Who cares that everyone he interviewed lied to him? This is what he really cares about.
We're gonna go deep. Are you worried about engineered diseases? Will we all be in the Matrix? We're on the verge of achieving immortality. You're messing with my head!
I gotta stop it here. All right, this intro already way too much. There's just so much going on. It's so weirdly put together. It's obvious they wanted to get as many clips as possible to hook whoever was watching this show, and I don't think any of them worked. In a post-COVID world, you gotta get that attention within the first 15 seconds, 10, 5 if you can, 1 if you can. Where's the Subway Surfers at the bottom? The bangers subtitle font? The Mr. Beast out effect transitions? Come on, man, get a clue. Also, why are you looking at me like that? Stop. So now we're officially into the episode, and here Joe gives us some backstory of Bigfoot, as well as why he thinks it might be real. He essentially claims that Bigfoot could be real because of a species of ape called Gigantopithecus.
8 to 10 foot tall, enormous ape creature that lived as recently as 100,000 years ago.
So I guess that's Bigfoot, despite being extinct for over 5 times the amount of years humans have existed. He's just lived all this time. He's some transcendental being. Did I use that word right? 2 minutes into the entire show, and they've already got a baseless claim for why Bigfoot could or could not be real. I love it. What, you expect me to hate everything? No, man. I want to have fun sometimes.
Does that mean there's really a Sasquatch? Not necessarily, but it makes it interesting.
Does that mean it's the thing this episode is about? Not really at all, no chance whatsoever. But if I tell you that now, you change the channel out of self-respect. So after that Yap Fest, we're then transported to the Pacific Northwest, where Joe interviews a, quote, very reputable man, and yeah, you'll just see what I mean.
He's a very reputable man. He's a child psychologist.
Okay, but what about him being a child psychologist makes him a reputable source for Bigfoot? Like, am I the only one who finds that weird? Did you just get this guy because you could call him a doctor? Is that what this is about? Did you want to make your conspiracy show seem more legit than it really is? Be honest. Be honest. You can be real with me. I won't tell anyone. I won't. Yep. It's fun. I knew it. I knew it. Guys, this guy's full of shit.
How did you get involved in this?
No way, you guys. I think this is Penn and Teller. This is what Penn and Teller would look like if they've done DMT together. So yeah, this guy who Joe is interviewing, who also looks like he's 7'2" in this frame, recalls a story about how he saw Bigfoot on a hiking trip in the year 2000. However, he was the only one who saw it, so yeah, perfectly legit. Nothing to question here. No need for critical thinking for this show. If you don't have your brain turned off while watching Joe Rogan Questions Everything, what are you even watching it for? No. Sound like Tom Haverford there. Fuck with your boy. Fuck with your boy. Where is my script? But by the look on Joe's face, it's pretty clear he's not buying it either.
It just seems like the odds are that a camera trap or something would catch one.
They're very elusive. That's the point.
Can't argue with that logic. But the dude starts crying while retelling the story, so you kind of go, oh shit, okay, maybe he did see something. I don't know. That or his acting lessons have been paying off pretty well.
These very strong protective instincts kicked in, that's my family.
Taking some advanced courses, I see, my man. That choke up in the middle of the sentence, whew. But crying like that is pretty wild, so maybe he did see something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you could convince your brain that you saw a Bigfoot if you tried hard enough, so there is also that.
You are of the mind that this is not a Gigantopithecus.
Dude, Joe, I'm just gonna tell you right now, you gotta let go of this theory. Also, that's insane that you asked that question after he poured his heart out to you. So Joe and this guy go out into this dude's backyard to find Bigfoot, I guess. And there's not much of note here other than the fact that Joe looks like a 13-year-old boy at a skate park looking down at one of those dips because he's too afraid to do it. So like I said, Joe leaves this place unconvinced, claiming that this guy could have heard anything out in the woods, which, yeah, duh, dude.
I need some science.
Yeah, I think I can safely say, based on watching this show so far, that we are not going to get to that point. We then meet a guy named Dr. Meldrum, who I guess has a few books about Bigfoot and whether or not it could be real. And guess where they're having the conversation? Ding, ding, ding. If you guessed his podcast studio, you're right. That's 1,000 points on the board right there. Whoa, you're just killing it, man. Bro really wants wanted to mention that he had a podcast any way he could. And yeah, it just looks so weird in this context. They're using the high quality TV cameras, which kind of confirms to us that this is all just a scripted interaction. So they get into the Patterson-Gimlin footage with this guy, and if you don't know what that is, it's the famous video of the, quote, Bigfoot that's walking across a lake bed in Northern California. It was taken in the 60s, and it's the only piece of Bigfoot evidence that hasn't fully been proven to be fake, so many skeptics would believe this footage to be real. Regular people, however, would look at this and be like, yeah, that's definitely a dude in a gorilla suit. And clearly, Joe agrees with me because he immediately calls bullshit on the entire thing.
What about Bob Hieronymus, the guy who says that he was in the suit, and the guy who, when he walks, looks like Bigfoot?
Well, he doesn't actually. One interesting thing.
Oh, okay. No. I was fully unconvinced before, but after hearing that rebuttal, you have my attention. Guess my eyes weren't working today and ever. You piece of shit. But yeah, this guy essentially says that it can't be a dude in a gorilla suit because his head isn't moving and humans' heads move when they walk. Okay, what? Hey guys. No, yeah, I'm just walking. I'm just minding my own business, walking like Jeff Meldrum taught me to. I mean, I'm just saying, what if the dude took that into account? Huh? You don't know that he didn't. I mean, if you're gonna fake something, at least make it look kind of real, am I right? No? Just me? I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm talking about. Looks like no one knows what they're talking about, man. So after that conversation goes nowhere, Joe realizes he now has to take things into his own hands. And it's about as bad as it sounds.
What if I could collect some Bigfoot DNA of my own?
What do you mean by that? How? What, where, when, why? What kind of DNA are we talking about here? It better not be the kind I'm thinking of. Please don't let it be the kind I'm thinking of. We're then transported to Portland, Oregon, where Joe finds himself at a middle school collecting Bigfoot DNA. What happened? How did we get to this? But again, Joe doesn't look too convinced, so I mean, what were you expecting at this point?
You're 100% convinced, right? You're not like pretty sure that there's an animal.
I would call myself 95% sure.
Why do you have 5% reserved for doubt? What is in that 5% that makes you disbelieve Bigfoot? What part of Bigfoot do you not get, but you get the rest of the 95%? What is this show? 95% sure? Pfft, hell, I might even be 90% sure. Fuck it. Bring it down to 75%. Who cares when everything you study is fake? But apart from the molds of Bigfoot's feet, the guy's killer evidence is, drumroll please, poop. This guy has bags with poop in his middle school science classroom. Does this not raise concern for anyone else?
There are people who are obsessed with the concept of Sasquatch. Frankly, I'm not one of them.
No, man, I think you're kind of obsessed. I don't think it's normal for people to just have bags of poo in their workspace. But that's just me, though. Fuck do I know. But this only raises another question for me. If he has all this evidence at his work, how much more does he have at home? So yeah, for the next few minutes of this show, it's just Joe and this random middle school teacher dissecting shit this guy found in the woods. Why? What are you doing to me here, man? What the fuck? Really great stuff for TV. Glad 1.3 million people saw this live.
It certainly tells us a lot about this creature's diet, and that is it's eating what is, I think, deer hair.
And dog kibble. Oh, wait, no, this is my dog Sparky's bag. I'm actually using this for personal use later. Yes, science experiment. It's a science. Don't ask questions, Joe.
It was great talking to Mr. Powell, and I thank him very much for the Bigfoot poop. If it turns out to be real, I'm gonna be a happy man.
And if it's fake, I'm going to beat this middle school teacher's ass for making me play with human shit. The next lunatic that Joe introduces to us is a guy named R. Scott Nelson. This guy's a crypto linguist, whatever that is, who claims to have actual recordings of Bigfoot, so, can't wait to see this. Also, Joe, for the last time, stop looking at me like that. So this guy, R. Scott Nelson, really hypes up these audio recordings of Bigfoot, but as soon as they start playing, it's very clear Joe is not having this at all. Other times, it seems like Joe tries to give the person he's interviewing the benefit of the doubt, but not our boy R. Scott Nelson.
I just have to tell you, my meter's going off the charts here with this. Well, that definitely sounds more like an animal.
There's no animal on the face of the earth that can say Vananu Wa'a Nagibash.
You're only hearing a language because you want to hear it. Your brain can trick you pretty easily if you're that gullible enough to let it happen. I just did it.
I just did it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Thank you. This fucking R. Scott guy, what's his deal?
Like, how can you attribute both of those sounds to the same animal? They're wildly different.
Well, whether they're the same animal or not, they both have language.
Okay, is this what a conspiracy theorist is all about? Just like poor attempts at gaslighting? Because that's what all these guys have been doing this entire episode. Can't fool Joe, though. No, his mind's a steel trap. All those ice baths have fortified his brain.
Some of that Bigfoot language sounded ridiculously fake, but some of it sounded really freaky and weird.
Oh, cut the shit, Joe. You can't just dismantle his entire life's work and then say, oh, that was kind of interesting. No, dude. No, we saw right through that. You were looking at him like he was batshit insane the entire time. You can't fool us now. That's bullshit. You're bullshit. Everything you stand for is bullshit. I hate you. I never want to talk to you again. I'm done. Goodbye. What R. Scott Nelson told me today was really interesting and only brings up the question, is Bigfoot real? Like, who are we supposed to be fooling here? So after Joe completely demoralizes that guy, we then head back to the podcast studio where Joe is having another scripted conversation, this time with his comic buddy, Duncan Trussell.
If you said to me, Joe, would you rather be able to fly or actually meet Bigfoot?
Wow.
I would say I'll take Bigfoot because I've got some questions.
Okay, why, Joe? Why? Did you not hear what R. Scott just said? You'd ask Bigfoot a question and all he'd say back to you was "Ega whoop da doop da doo." You're not gonna get a great podcast out of that, Joe. I'm just saying. But this fake conversation is meant to set up Joe and Duncan going back out into the Pacific Northwest to meet up with the Washington Sasquatch research team and explore the woods to try and find this thing for themselves. But before they do that, they have a conversation with a convenience store owner who claims to have seen Bigfoot in the past.
I've been having experiences here for years. I just never realized that's what it was until I actually saw it.
Big hairy dude just last week came in for a Diet Coke and a berry ice vape. I thought he was just a construction worker in town, but I don't know. He could have been Bigfoot. I don't know. I just want to be on TV. Are you gonna buy anything?
The screams sound like a siren.
Can you do an impression of it?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was Bigfoot or just, you know, a couple doing couple things. That's the best way I can put it. After that conversation, we finally meet our research team, led by two guys, Steve and John. Not much else of note really happens for the rest of this episode, so I'm gonna try to go through it as quick as I can. They spend a couple of hours out in this forest, and you get a lot of shots of Joe acting all condescending, looking at the camera like, What are these guys about? Like, bro, you're not that far off from these guys. This is what you'd be doing if you didn't start your podcast in like 2008. They check out something called an offering stump where they leave toys and knickknacks and stuff, and they try to claim that Bigfoot is real because a lot of the stuff is moved around, but it could honestly be any other animal that lives in the woods who came around and started moving those toys because it's a bright color that isn't very much present in the woods. But hey, I'm just throwing out theories here too, all right? I'm just as bad as Joe. Might want to leave him some Jack Links, am I right? No? No, I thought it was a funny bit. What the hell? They also find a bunch of broken branches that are shaped in the form of a teepee, and they try to claim that Bigfoot did it because no human could possibly break those big sticks, which, I mean, I don't know if it's that true. You know, it could have been multiple people who came around and wanted to make a teepee because it was kind of cool. It's a cool thing to do, especially for a bunch of young adults on a hiking trip together. Also, if this is supposed to be a home made by Bigfoot, where's the leaves or foliage to cover the hut? Is this just a housing project that Bigfoot's working on? He's doing some renovation work. He's trying to get into real estate. This is just a work in progress. Is that what's going on, Joe? Is that what you're suggesting right now?
That's a pretty difficult thing to snap. This is kind of interesting.
Also, not a lot of finite language here. It's a lot of pretties, it's a lot of kind ofs, it's a lot of maybes, it's a lot of could be's. Makes you think this is all fake. Nah, not Joe, man. Not with that track record. Okay, maybe with that track record. Night happens and they found nothing. Obviously, when suddenly they hear something in the woods. Oh, could it be Bigfoot? This is our chance. This is it. We're actually gonna see Bigfoot. We're gonna see Bigfoot for the first time. I can't believe it. Nope. No, it was just another animal stepping on a branch. Glad that was the climax of this episode. So yeah, they leave out some audio devices and some cameras overnight and look over the footage and the audio the next morning, and surprise, surprise, they find nothing again. Hate to break it to you guys, but it looks like we're not finding Bigfoot anytime soon. Yep, I know, so sad, so terrible. I can't believe Joe would hoodwink me like this. How dare you?
But you got a big heart. And that's all that matters.
So patronizing. But wait, we're not done just yet. We still have to figure out if that bag of shit that middle school teacher gave us, yeah, remember him? We still have to find out if that's real or not. It could be real. Tune in. Don't ruin the retention of this video just yet. So Joe goes to an actual lab at the University of Washington and has a sit down with one of the scientists who's done tests on these bags of poop that Joe has sent them. Has anyone ever said that sentence ever? Where are you finding these people, Joe? This dude has the same haircut as my character on GTA Online.
We got 3 fecal samples from you, 2 hair samples. We actually got DNA.
No way, dude. You found actual DNA from shit and hair? Didn't expect that. So it turns out the DNA that Joe had tested came from bears, coyotes, and dogs. No, man, I thought that was gonna be the key to finding Bigfoot. A Sci-Fi Network show hosted by Joe Rogan. I thought that's where humanity was gonna discover Bigfoot. I guess I was wrong. No. Imagine if that's how we actually discovered Bigfoot. Some middle school science teacher in Portland just had bags of Bigfoot DNA in their class only for it to be confirmed by Joe Rogan on a Sci-Fi Network show. I feel like humanity was robbed of this story, of this news headline, you feel me? And that's where the episode ends. They found shit, but they didn't find shit, if you know what I'm saying. Hey, pound it!
Everybody wants to be the one person that gets that clear picture of the wild man living in the woods. Unfortunately for us, no such luck.
Although I can say for sure, the middle school teacher who made me dissect bear poo is a dead man walking. And there you have it. That was episode 1 of Joe Rogan Questions Everything. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please press like, comment, and subscribe, obviously. But yeah, expect a video essay in the coming weeks. I've got a lot planned for 2024. Can't wait to bring in the new year with some fire content, baby. Some absolute bangers. Hey-yo! But for real though, if this is your first video, welcome. If you've watched my last 2 and found me through that, I appreciate you for sticking around. And yeah, peace.